Hey, where are you right now? Okay, remember Hertz from high school? Hertz? What kind of a word does that look like to you? Like, what nationality is the word Hertz to you? If somebody's name was Joe Hertz, but not, because Joe Hertz sounds like, I don't know, he sounds like that guy from the song Mac the Knife to me, Joe Hertz, somebody who's an enforcer, and he's gonna, if you don't pay up, I'm gonna go get Joe Hertz. Or, he's permanently got a migraine, and that guy, he's moping over there as Joe Hertz. He's always got a migraine. A migraine. Well, anyways, it's Hertz rent a car, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the name. Like if the name was spelled that way, Hert, and then that letter, what would you say? Hi, I'm Joe Hurt. And then I have that letter on the end. And I refuse to say it. Because I've been to American dialect voice acting lessons. Well, I have. So, because the way I say that last letter in that word, hurt with something, is going to influence where you think I come from. Because British English and American English differ as to how you say, the name for that letter. The British have strange things like, North America, in Canada, and in the USA. Because don't remember anything other than in Canada, they tend to, at least they used to, follow the British standard stupid way of spelling things. And as Canadians, we had American TV, so we had to understand two ways of spelling certain words. Because, your English teacher in Canada, at least, I don't know, let's go 1981, when I was there, insisted on Canadian spelling which followed the British. But not on everything, like pronunciation. No, we spoke Canadian English, which, well, people are going to say, well, Peter Jennings was a Canadian newscaster on ABC News at nighttime. And that's the way Canadians speak, but that's incorrect. Nobody in Canada speaks like Peter Jennings. They claim he's Canadian, but the accent that he presents, we have to go back on YouTube and look at ABC, because this was way back in the day, but I'm sure there is Peter Jennings, ABC News. That's not a Canadian accent. No. It sounds, I don't know. It's not Canadian. It's not Toronto. It's not. Well, it's an actor who plays Peter Jennings having this accent it's not Canadian dialect. Whatever it is, it's not Canadian dialect. Because I'm a Canadian and I know Canadian dialect, and I know Peter Jennings does not speak like a Canadian. What do Canadians speak like? Canadians learn to speak English by watching American TV and Canadian news. There's a little bit of Canadian TV in those days, famous ones that were worldwide hits, like The Beachcombers, with Nick Adonidas as Bruno Jersey. It's a great show, a comedy show. It's slapstick comedy. I mean, it's not to be taken seriously at all. Slapstick comedy simply means everybody's playing a bit of a cartoon. Like everybody is really playing up the cartoon aspects of their characters on the show. Well, the RCMP characters, the Royal Canadian Mountain. Okay, well, we're going to switch gears because clearly, you know, this electronic remote neural monitoring attack that's been going on me all morning has not been cured by incense sticks that I got from the Mystic Garden, and that was what was recommended to me from, you know, experts there. So, well, I already know it because I've burned other kinds of incense and it doesn't work. And as far as the black tourmaline or whatever it was that I got, no, it doesn't work either. But just so you know, because I am burning some of that stuff right now, and we had a black helicopter fly by. Well, they're just kind of black helicopters are always related to like cattle mutilations and and the scary versions of UFOs and ETs. Anyways, so just so you know, because the shaman looks is a shamanic axiom. They would call it an axiom. It's simply the shaman looks because the shaman is doing magical acts to create the outcome that the shaman I don't know. I mean, that's like saying that, all shaman are actively controlling outcomes through their creative abilities to eliminate certain choices from manifesting and ensuring that certain other choices that they or their clients have made happen. Witchcraft for hire. Well, it's very ego driven, or is it? Because, even our intellectual mind gets into what's known as spiritual ego. That is, you've read a lot of books, or you listened to a lot of YouTubes, or you had one-on-one training with some grandmother maybe, or I don't know, or whatever it is, the weird lady at the end of the street that somehow you walk by there every day on the way to school, and she was there, and she just was. I don't know. Somehow you made friends with the weird lady on the street that nobody else liked or something because you were just, a goth kid or something. Whatever it was. I don't know. But in the end, well, the people at the Mystic Garden were like, well, in the end, if you don't believe in something, does it affect you? Because we did talk about that idea, but the insidious ways that we give away our power, which is always has to be from blah 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 blah. I don't know. Fast forward past all the 99 blah blahs because I don't know. Are you feeling bored? No, it's mostly somebody who wants to exhibit dominance over me. Well, anyways, so I burned, the different ones that I got, recommended ones. And, from my inner child standpoint, and I did a video on the inner child just likes to play with incense sticks. Yeah, it does like. So, I mean, it's not, it doesn't work, but, this is what we had. So we had, destroy evil. So that doesn't work. And then we had blessings. That one doesn't work. And Palo Santo, well, I've used Palo Santo oil, like, essential oil for before, and, it doesn't keep the, and, white sage as well. So, well, it never worked before, and, I buy incense once in a while, yeah. What? Because my inner child likes to play with incense. I said in the video that, my inner child, if I don't lock it down with an adult ego, my inner child is like thinking, it was remembering when it was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old and playing with those bubbles that you blow the bubbles. I don't know, little things that you like as a kid. When my little sister, well, I don't know, she's 3 years younger than me. I don't know, when I was 7 and she was 4, she got a Fisher Price um, automotive garage, 2-story with a ramp and little cars. It was the best toy. She got it, but I loved it too. I loved it. It was like it was the best, coolest thing because we used to play with those cars. So why are people going and interfering with me talking about just a simple memory? Because why? This is the Mark David Chapman who made himself famous by executing John Lennon, the singer of the Beatles. Some fuckface asshole who's got nothing going for them at all decides to be, okay, well, there's one way I can make myself famous. I'm going to become the murderer of a famous person. Mark David Chapman's solution to your quest for fame in a big, fast way. Anyways, because what does that really prove? I don't know. Apparently in the USA, pretty much anybody can go down to any sporting goods store and buy a gun. So, out of a nation of 300 million people, well, that's the children, I suppose, but I don't know, 150 million people could have a gun this afternoon and go and shoot any celebrity and then be on the nightly news. Instantly, the Mark David Chapman derivative way of making the national news and getting into the rogues gallery of evil people and getting your name known to 8 billion people on planet Earth that you're a terrorist. Like Dylan Roof, who went in on a shooting rampage and shot up a black church. Or Timothy McVeigh, who blew up the federal building. Or the Boston Marathon bombers. Well, even if these stories are fake news, and even if they're using crisis actors, it does still illustrate the point. Because in our own lives, I'm bullied right now by this electronic harassment, remote neural monitoring. Yes. So the bullying is going on, and why? It means the end of civilization. Because we certainly have the technology to pick up, if you can make this remote neural monitoring software, hardware, whatever it is, and use it, then it can certainly be radar detector machines, can't it? Because that's what they did. They created radar speed traps, and then you could get a radar detector. And then the cops could buy a radar detector. When in Ontario province, they made radar detectors illegal. But you could buy it across the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron, Michigan. Smuggle it back in or something. I don't know. So anyways, the idea that somehow, on your dying day, well, I don't know, let's say you weren't executed. Let's say they put you into, I don't know. Anyways, you're in jail for all that time, and let's say you die at, 82. But in your final years, when you're looking back on your whole life, and let's say, you shot a celebrity and killed the celebrity, made the national news at, 21. You had 61 years of you in jail, where you could have been doing something else on the outside. Because other than that moment of fleeting fame, you didn't perform for all those other years. All those other talents that were going to be revealed to you had you not done this evil move, well, you just blew it. You blew 61 years of potential you going and doing, well, I don't know. But you did prevent yourself from having 61 years of freedom. So, the payoff for you doing what anybody physically can do in the USA, use a gun and, kill somebody with it, you really didn't prove that you're anything more than an animal. And yet you have so much potential as a human being beyond your previous animal lives, because that's what spiritual teachers say, that previous to getting a human life, you had animal life. Probably before your first human life, you probably were a dog or a cat, a pet of a human, because that's what they say happens. That's the last step before you get a human body, is you're a pet for humans. And something happens when you're around humans if you're a dog. You become a dog rather than a wolf. And you're treated like a human. Because humans talk to you like you can hear and understand English. And, but often don't think about it, but you do overhear them. And, you're considered, one the baby of the family. Everybody knows that, if you're at the door and you're making that look, it's like, well, that one needs to go out for a walk, or that one needs to go out for a poop or something. Well, if you want to have a dog poop at your front door on the inside of the house or on the outside of the door. So, people are pretty quick that, either you're going to look after that little one or you're not. Why do we talk about this? Because it's about, caring for other members of your family. Because that dog can't open the door and you can. And if you don't open the door, then you're going to have a big poopy mess that the dog ain't going to clean it up. It's going to be you. So, it just teaches you to be proactive. It's just way easier for me to go over there and, take that dog for a short walk so he can do his business. And then I can do pooper scooper. You get smart because once you've been fined, or you get a bunch of neighbors that chew you out for doing something that's clearly, you're dissing your whole community when you leave your dog's poop lying there. The dog ain't going to be able to tag it and bag it and put it away in a garbage can. Well, I've seen people, dog owners in Thunder Bay who don't pick up, even though there's a bylaw forever and ever. I've seen people, I don't know. There was one guy famously took his white husky around, and the dog always pooped and he never picked it up. He was, I don't know, gray-haired guy. How could you get to be 70 years old and be so disrespectful to the community of Thunder Bay that you don't pick up after your fucking dog? You gray-haired old fuckface. So, for young people at 21 who are just thinking, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory here, and, because some Katy Perry song was, I don't know, live hard and die young or something. Well, she's an old fucking cow now, isn't she? She's been in the show business, I don't know, is she 40 now? Well, she didn't, finish it off when she was at the 27 Club. So what the fuck? What are they doing? Well, they're brainwashing all of you people into believing all of their lyrics and their stories and their bullshit, because they're Luciferians and they do want their audience members to do horrible things to other people and themselves, because they're twisted, fuckface, Luciferian, and Lucifer is 190 on the scale of human consciousness, a negative. 200 is the dividing line between the downward spiral into, horrible, horrible death in the lake of fire, second death. And 190 is under there. That's why he's called, he fell to earth with the horrible, horrible. Well, I don't know. They fell to earth. The devils fell to earth. Well, David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research said, well, yeah, they're all here because this is purgatorial realm. Muscle testing, David R. Hawkins, Consciousness Research. He co-wrote Orthomolecular Biology, a textbook with two-time Nobel Prize-winning scientist Linus Pauling. So David R. Hawkins has got an excellent biography, by extension, endorsed by the Nobel Prize. I mean, Linus Pauling, who won 2 Nobel Prizes, he's not going to go and co-write a textbook with some joker who's going to, make him look bad. So, there's David R. Hawkins for you, and he's on YouTube, and you can binge watch him, and you can go to Amazon and get Kindle, and then click on free sample, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and then you can have it on your phone so you can read it when you're sitting on the throne. Okay, so back to Hertz. Well, I said it hurts, but that's how we say it in Canada. But where do we hear Hertz? US TV for, So in Canada, if we're saying, at least, I don't know, they might have changed it because they never tell us what they're doing in the Canadian schools. They just change curriculum and whatever the fuck they do. I don't know. They don't send out, I don't know. Anyways, in my day, that would be pronounced Z in Canada. And on Sesame Street, which was a kid show, American made, they would call that the letter Z. Now, commonly, what would we do as children? You got to try and figure it out, because among all the other children, you would call that the letter Z. But if there's an adult around who's like a teacher kind of person, then you would go, British and say, well, that's the letter Z, teach. Fuck off with you stupid fucking teachers and you stupid universities. Why? Seriously, why do you keep these difficult spellings? To make you feel like more elite or something? Because you're using British spelling for color, C-O-L-O-U-R? An American is C-O-L-O-R. And then Canadian products, at Walmart, if you go and buy Crayola markers, if they say color, what is it going to be spelled at? C-O-L-O-R. Because corporations that make products, I don't know. It's not guaranteed that they're going to use Canadian spelling for color. No. What do we prefer? Easier, keep it simple, stupid. And really, who wants to call, those metal bats aluminium? The Brits do. In Canada, no, it's aluminum. Same as the Americans, aluminum. What else do we want to talk about? Well, if you want to go and see this candle, or no, it was this incense thing. Well, the plume of smoke is, can you see it? I can't really see it on my camera. Where is it? I don't know. I can't see it. Can you see it? Anyways, I don't know. It was going straight up. I don't know. It didn't look like the camera was catching it, but Anyways, that's supposed to mean that the area is clear of negativities when you get the incense plume going straight up. According to something I read on the internet or something. In any event, I'm still here and the devils are still attacking me. These are the electronic devils. They try and kill me multiple times a day. They do all the time. So remote neural monitoring is a horror. And if you've ever had that ear bug, I can remember, I don't know, way back when I was a kid. We have radio quality music playing in your head unwanted. And we were told, well, that's just your mind. It plays tricks on you. But that's a sign that we were under remote neural monitoring, Dr. Evil machines, way back when we were 10 years old in 1975. So if you get earbug, then it's remote neural monitoring, and they haven't turned it on full blast and given you operators that are going to actively torture you. But they probably do have operators on you that have caused accidents in your life or caused you to have brain farts or lose your keys and all kinds of shit, because these ones are written about in the Stuart Wilde books. Maybe on his website, stuartwilde.com, STUARTWILDE. He also calls some of these things transdimensional entities, which would imply that there's more than one dimension available to people. Well, I don't know. That's what he says. What other dimensions and how do you get there? Well, you could try smoking salvia or something. That brings you into a weird place. Is that another dimension? It feels different than anything else. Well, it used to be available. Now I think it's been made illegal. But I don't know. Do you think at Epstein's Island that Prince Andrew has any trouble getting hold of salvia or adrenochrome or spirit cooking or kids from Haiti or I don't know, people from Club 33 at Disney World, like, I don't know, Bob Hope, the famous entertainer? Well, he was known for being a Club 33 people, which is somehow being tied to human smuggling of children out of Haiti that are, I don't know, farmed or something. They're farming babies. Temple of the Dog song. Chris Cornell, who was declared suicided, along with the Lincoln Park frontman, who's supposed to be the son of Democrat Hillary Clinton person, John Podesta, brother of Tony Podesta, who has a statue of Jeffrey Dahmer's headless victim. Jeffrey Dahmer, the cannibal from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Anyways, Club 33, Bob Hope, Freemasonry running the presidency, Skull and Bones, John Kerry and George Bush facing off for the presidency, both of them Skull and Bones, Yale University, strange alumni, Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao, the evil one from communist China, well, went to the same university as Bush and Kerry. Well, Extension University. That just is all like on Wikipedia. I'm not making it up. I read it on Wikipedia and various places like that on the internet. Well, it's pretty much open and available, all this information about, the network of bullshit about, that somehow we've got all these countries that are, fighting against one another, but it's only through the fake news because it's all, I don't know, seems like a lot of phony baloney on the front end of, whatever it is that's, okay, so what else do we want to talk about? Okay, so we had Bob Hope, Club 33, and then the strange friendship between Thunder Bay business person Andy Coffey of, Andrew Coffey Menswear on Brodie Street, right by the ski house. Well, I mean, in the Chronicle Journal, it was always talked about this famous friendship between the tailor and Bob Hope, the international movie star. It's a strange friendship. But, it was always reported that Andy and Bobby had gone off to visit with Bob Hope and Dolores. Palms, I don't know, wherever they went. But it was well known, well publicized. Well, it's just that Bob Hope has come under this enormous scrutiny because of all of this stuff about the talk about human smuggling and stories about adrenochrome, that is, terrorizing children, terrorizing them, physically harming them, damaging them. God only knows what kind of torture machineries are used to terrorize people to the point where then they go and they slit maybe their neck, like they were a butcher animal, and then they drain the blood out of that body of the terrorized person. And then Johnny Depp shows up on the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he's using this drug, adrenochrome, that is made from terrorizing and killing people. And normalizing to the movie public the idea that this adrenochrome it's just another marijuana. the fuck it is. And then you have Google giving you Chrome laptops with Adreno chips, computer chips named Adreno inside. Adreno Chrome with your Acer made laptop or something by Google. GOOGHOUL. And that's who the devils who come through the remote neural monitoring always blame. They always say who their boss is. They say it's Scott Dougal from Google. Oh, knows me personally for years and decades and decades and decades and decades. And his brother Hector is in a long-term relationship with the not divorced to Mike Biggs, the bank mangler at Royal Bank. But I don't know, it's a very strange, incestuous, snake-like existence among the strange people that are still being beyond strange in their snakiness. So, well, I don't know. Because Andy Coffey's son, Rob Coffey, who I did go and visit one time when I threw my resume in there to see if he wanted to have me as a salesperson. Well, his famous workout partner is my brother-in-law, Jason Mallon of Land and Realty in Thunder Bay. I don't know, Rob, if you knew at the time that, babe, did you know that, that Jason Mallon was my brother-in-law? Because do you remember I did copy him? I don't know. I can't be that. I guess we didn't want to work together. But after that, I worked for Rocco and Paul over at Lakehead Motors. As a salesperson. Rocco used to tell me all the time because he knew that I used to do like extra work in Vancouver before I moved back to Thunder Bay, and he said, "Well, just act like a salesman, Bob," and then he would laugh, and I would laugh. It was so funny. Rocco, anyways, because he's got a great sense of humor, and he likes music. His favorite song is "It's All About the Beat, No Trouble." What's that one? All about the beat, no trouble. Nicki Minaj or whatever. Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you got because of long days and long nights there. Yep. Long days and long nights when you're, anyways, yeah, well, I don't know. Anyways, well, I don't know what happened. Well, in the end, I don't know, the spirit grabbed me because even when I'm a salesperson, I'm always at the mercy of remote neural monitoring or whatever else that was going on in those days, because I was being electronically harassed in those days. It was very difficult to even be a salesperson because constantly getting memory wipes. I was constantly getting memory wipes like in Men in Black, when they got that flasher thing and they flash you, and then all of a sudden you get the fluoride stare. Blah. Well, that's what they do with remote neural monitoring. So if you ever have a brain fart, then it's a fat controller who's got a remote neural monitoring on you. And best as I can tell is everybody, because Tanja Hill Del Pino has had. I'm going to do this. This is me voluntarily moving my face with the blink. They call it Tourette syndrome. And she's had it her whole life. And as far as we're told, it's maybe genetic. But once you've experienced the devils using the various examples of the different things they can do with your body and your mind, with this high-tech demonic torture machine, certainly can create a Tourette syndrome. Yes, they attempt to kill me with the heart attack machine. Many times, the force choke went in Star Wars when Darth Vader would use force choke on somebody else, one of his senior officers at the Death Star. They can do that, yes. There's nobody here, but it's all remote control. And the best idea is if you buy the Dr. Ho from the Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada, and you put your little, your electrodes with gel, the little gel package, and then you turn that thing on. It's a 1 AAA battery. It's a handheld device, And it goes, and, it's for muscle, for your sore muscles, it gives you a muscle massage electrically. Everybody knows those things. So it's that same kind of thing, but by remote control. Instead of having you putting on external electrodes there using, I don't know, directed energy weapons or something. Well, I don't know, because you're going to say that's impossible, but in 1990, Clint Eastwood made the movie Firefox, where he showed you that you can fly a jet fighter with your mind, and you don't need a joystick. Well, full disclosure. Well, if they can say that it could be done in the movies, and they use all kinds of jets that were clearly, looked like the same jets that they'd use in Top Gun, what's to say that they spend trillions of dollars a year on research at the Pentagon? That's just the USA. How about, I don't know, many other countries have got enormous military, unbelievable. That was 32 years ago, Firefox. Elon Musk launches 42,000 satellites up there. For what? They always have a purpose. Skynet from The Matrix, because of predictive programming, you learn shit through the movies that, might be used in your real life. Well, there you go. So, anyways, hertz, frequency. And we usually talk about the low vibe tribe and the high vibe tribe. And the low vibe people are, like the low men from the Dark Tower novels. They're evil. Organized evil, organized darkness, and Matthew McConaughey in the Dark Tower would be, one of the chief bosses. So those are all low vibe tribe, and all those people would calibrate, under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. And Roland the Gunslinger, I don't know where he would calibrate. I'm not going to muscle test it because I'm under demonic attack by this thing. But if you're not too much under demonic attack, you don't feel like because they can hijack me, so, surreptitiously they can hijack your muscle tests. But, if he's fighting against Matthew McConaughey is going to be either 190 Lucifer or 150 Satan on the scale of human consciousness. And either he's fighting another dark foe in a Highlander game to be the chief Dark Lord, or he's fighting somebody who is over 200 in the scale of human consciousness, which is on the positive scale, which is unlimited on the way how far you can go. Because if you're under 200, you can either be 199 all the way down to 1. And that's a short band that you can move around in. And if you go to 0, you're dead, because that's the end of chi floating through you or something. As far as I can figure it out, I don't know. But if you get to 200, then you can go to 300, 400, 500, 600, all the way to 1,000, and that was supposed to be the max that the old version of human bodies could handle, because we've been told that these human bodies are being upgraded by light codes all the time, coming in from the sun. But in those days, 22 years ago, when Dr. Hawkins was talking about the scale of human consciousness, 1,000 was the highest you could run. And then beyond that, he would say that would go into angels that could be, 50,000 or 500,000. Then you could keep going on, and he could just give you a pointer to more and more God, which would be your soul. Because it's you. It's not a foreign thing to you, this idea of God. It's just the better version of you, the higher version of you, the version of you that can sing soul music like Aretha Franklin. Because if you can't sing, you can't talk off the top of your head, then you're too low. And it's doable to change yourself. Transcending the Levels of Consciousness by David R. Hawkins. You can go get a free sample of that one. Or just listen to Dr. Hawkins. Just binge listen to him. He's easy to listen to. He tells jokes. He's an old guy. I don't know, 70 years old in his videos. But, he speaks American English. And, you got a big audience there. And you get good questions. Well, I don't know. Do something new. Don't do the same old thing like, keep reading Soldier of Fortune magazine and dreaming that you're going to be the next Mark David Chapman by, just being a fucking asshole and getting in some kind of a Highlander fight wherever you go. And in the end, ended up either, horribly injured yourself, in jail or dead or, Maybe you're brain damaged and you've got to go into an old folks home at an early age because you're permanently brain damaged. Does it happen? Yeah, I worked in old folks homes, and yeah, there are people there that are young who are brain damaged. And, if there wasn't violence on this planet because people hanging out in the low end on the scale of human consciousness, some of those people, well, I don't know, maybe it could be some other kind of thing, unavoidable. But the more consciousness you get, the more spiritual gifts there are. And if you really want the spiritual superpowers, you got to rise on the scale of human consciousness, according to consciousness researcher David R. Hawkins. And then when he had spiritual superpowers, he said they weren't under his personal control. Now, do I have things under my personal control? Yes. Well, not really, because before I did more spiritual work and I worked on letting go of more, because you can't really see it on the outside. But Dr. Hawkins explains it in his books, like Eye of the Eye, that, it's just, if you've got a computer laptop and you've been running Windows, and then you hear, well, you can get a dual boot on that thing, and you can run then dual boot Windows or Linux, whatever you call it. It gives you more options, more different things you can play with. Well, that's what happens when you raise your consciousness. Your body-mind thing changes the way it operates. At 200, you'll get what's known as etheric brain. So if you're under 200 in the low, shitty end, anger, emotionalism, apathy, just horrible feeling emotionally driven person, an animal person. But you get to 200 and you'll get a spiritual gift. In addition to what we would call the physical brain inside, you'll get an etheric brain, which is a non-physical brain, added to your physical brain, and it changes the way your physical brain works. So you get less fight or flight, angry response automatically for everything. And you get the etheric brain, which gives you more time to process what just happened through your prefrontal cortex, which is the best part of your human brain, which gives you the option of looking at what just happened and do I always have, because if you go to anger management courses, that's what you want to do. You want to have more ability to look into, okay, if something happened and it's got my attention, and if I was under 200, I would get really angry automatically. Even if somebody was my best friend that just came over and put their hand on here and just turn around, just hand me a beer and said, I love you. But instead of that, somebody touched you and you automatically just freaked out. You turned around, you just punched out your best friend. You broke his tooth, and he was just he bought this beer for you to gift that to you. So that's what happens at the low end. Automatically, you're just a fuck face. You just appear to 100% asshole, and that's because you're at the low end. But if you go up higher with the etheric brain, then that reptile brain it's rewired in your system. So that reptilian amygdala is an amygdala effect. Gotta wait for somebody to get out of my energies, because that's low vibe tribe that's attacking me. So amygdala is a piece of the brain in there that's reptilian, and that's what you are under 200. At 200, you're gifted with an etheric brain, which means that maybe it's somebody who loves me. You turn around and it is your best friend, and he's got a beer for you, and he's smiling at you, and he's like so happy that you're here because you're not an asshole. You're a true friend, and you're cherished by people, and people like you, and even the people that hate you go out of their way to hate you because you shine, because you unfucked yourself, because that was a meme that was going around. What were you like before you lost your shine? Whatever it was, unfuck yourself so you shine again. So hertz is your frequency. Low vibe, it's actually going to be, we're going to count everything under 540. Everything under 540 we're going to consider too low vibe for planet Earth. 540 and higher is where you need to be. We're going to call you a terrorist if you're underneath 540, because people under 540 created nuclear bombs and intercontinental ballistic missiles because they could be engineering professors at MIT. But you go higher in consciousness, wisdom becomes automatic in everything, because consciousness itself, you get with more consciousness, there's more wisdom. And there's more light, and you shine more, and then you're more different than everybody else because people feel it. And that's why what we do as light workers is we hold space at higher levels of consciousness, because you can shine. So why be a fuckface when innately in you, as a source energy being, is shine in every way you can possibly think of? Shine, collective soul. Shine bright like a diamond, Rihanna. She comes to me like diamonds, diamonds. Max Webster. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Pink Floyd. Diamond girl, do, she looks so good, do, Seals and Crofts. Everybody has it in them to shine. Marianne Williamson said, what is it that we're most afraid of? And I don't know, that was her version of it in those days, but it was like, mostly, why are we afraid to show everybody that we are beautiful beings? Or something like that. Marianne Williamson, go look up quotes. Just type it into your, whatever it is you're searching in. Marianne Williamson quotes, and look for that thing. Because that's what she was telling us, is that we have our biggest fear, and our biggest fear is that we're afraid to shine. Jesus wasn't afraid to shine. He said, don't hide your shine under a mop bucket. Put it out there and let it shine. Let it shine. What is that one? I don't know. We all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. All of our music seems to be talking about that shine, so shine on. And don't forget, when Wayne Gretzky won the Conn Smythe Trophy for best player in the NHL in the playoffs, I calibrated his level of consciousness when he was on the ice, dipsy doodling around and scoring goals. He was at 900. Off the ice, not so high. But if you want flow and athletic performance, peak performance, 900 is where Gretzky is. Off the ice, we don't think he's very good. He's probably 190. Because businessman, all about me, and all my celebrity endorsements about me, and my mookie money. So, that's what we talk about, holding space. Because if you can be Wayne Gretzky on the ice, but, hold 900 off the ice, Wayne, flunky. You're like Kevin O'Leary. You're a negative entity off the ice. I mean, people look up to you for, no, I don't. Because, I don't know, Wayne Gretzky needs to read Sacred Economics, the book by Charles Eisenstein, about the gift economy and the roadmap of capitalism. Because there is a roadmap to get us off of the 1% owns and controls everything. And Charles has some videos, probably on YouTube, maybe his own website. Go check him out. Charles Eisenstein. And is it Eisenstein or Eisenstein? Or Eisenstein? I don't know, because this is another problem with trying to pronounce English words. Anyway, if I was to guess Hertz, I would not say an English name from England or Scotland, not Irish, not French. Now, Nikola Tesla was supposed to be from Yugoslavia, I suppose. Maybe Albania. I don't know. Hertz, I wouldn't say that though, even though Tesla is. Hertz, I would say, it sounds like a German name to me. So if the guy's name was Joe Hertz, I would say his ethnic origin would be German. Anyways, that's another homework for you. You can go and look on Wikipedia and see if this word Hertz was named after an actual person from a German area of the world or whatever. What is the background of the word Hertz? And, please flip the switch to the high vibe version of you, the loving version of you, the better timeline for all of us version of you. Nobody really wants to go and manifest themselves into the second death in the lake of fire. It's just that, there's just so much Christian theology in the noosphere, noosphere, which is the term for the global brain, or in the law of one, it's called the social memory complex. But it's, what we are using for Akashic records, possibly, and conscious or unconscious telepathy with others, including the trees and the animals and the planet and beings who are maybe from other star systems. The unified quantum field, and we're sending and receiving, all of us, in this thing, even though it's invisible around us. But when you have that woman's intuition, even when you're a man, that somebody, I gotta call somebody or other about something or other, because I don't know. You just get that, I got to do this thing. You just get that feeling, and it's like, it's maybe what they call a download from spirit or whatever, download from whoever gives you downloads. People always talk on YouTube these days about getting downloads on subjects. In the olden days, they would call that claircognizance, which is a spiritual superpower. Claircog. Cognition, enhanced. Well, I don't know. You're more likely to get these. I don't know. I can't help you out. I don't know. It might be innate to just being human, regardless of where you are on the scale of human consciousness. Anyways, that's your educational lecture for today. For now, and tune in later, because we'll see what you give you later. And this is 52 minutes, so it's quite likely that I'm not going to be able to get this thing to post because of the shadow banning, which means censorship of me simply wanting to share stuff with you for free, because that's fifth dimensional gift economy. Give it away. Red Hot Chili Peppers. And did you pay to watch this video? Did I pay for I don't know. I'm not getting paid while I'm making these videos. So if I'm being gift economy and everybody else in the capitalist world is unwilling, then I don't know. I guess I don't belong here.